doesn't really make sense. I have more Grammys than Will Smith, which makes no sense. But I have the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith. Does that make sense to you guys? Sam Smith are neck and neck at the Black Entertainment Television.
What's good, everybody? It's Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. Back at it with another video. So, Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, calls out the BET Awards, and it's very, very interesting because he brought up some interesting points, and I wanted to include Will Smith's reaction as far as to it, and we're going to get into some of the comments, but there's some dialogue that's going around as far as like how Black artists are treated that are not in a box. You know, a lot of times we talk about like, oh, Black people aren't a monolith, but then organizations that are supposed to be as far as for Blacks have this kind of box, and then you know that BT isn't even owned by Black people anymore, so it puts another layer into it. But let me show you this clip from Comedy Hype News in regards to Lenny Kravitz, kind of speaking the same sentiments. So we're going to get into the comments and what I think about this in general.
Now, Glover's comments last night would spark a debate online about certain Black artists not being considered Black enough. In addition to Donald Glover, Tyler the Creator was another name social media had mentioned as an artist who's had success on every major outlet besides BET. Now, this isn't the first criticism from artists to BET. Just last year, Lenny Kravitz spoke to Esquire, where he revealed he hasn't always felt celebrated by Black award show, naming BET and the Source Awards as two examples. Kravitz would later clear up his comments via statement on social media. My Black musical heritage means a lot to me, and I owe my success to my supporters who have taken this journey with me over the span of my career. My comment was meant to express a concern about ensuring that Black artists are being recognized for their work in what is now being called non-traditional Black music, which it is not. BET and countless others have paved the way for this type of recognition. I hope that by sharing my concern, a spotlight will be shone on this issue.
Before we get into that, this video is sponsored by me. Hey, if you want to dive into new music, I have a catalog. Yeah, these are not singles, these are albums. But more recently this year, I did release an album called Tame Chaos. So you can listen, stream, download, purchase, all of that in the link in the description. And just, check it out, because I want to see if people are actually seeing this and going to the site. So anyways, guys. All right, we got Jared still hot. So I thought that was very, very interesting. And then bringing up as far as Lenny Kravitz and Tyler the Creator when it comes to this, and we see this play out in so many different areas, and people can, say certain things, but it's just all like these artists who are Black artists are putting out very Black things, but they're not, the typical. They're not a Sexy Red, they're not a gangster, they're not, none of these. So it's wild that, Sam Smith would have the same amount of BET awards as any Black artist at the BET Awards. And that's what's so interesting, because he brought up an interesting thing as far as the Grammys. How in the world does Childish Gambino or Donald Glover have more Grammys than Will Smith? You know what I mean? So it poses that question to where it's just all like, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. But then when you do, you get pushed back, whether it be in relationships, whether that be in places that you live, whether that be in particular media that you want to partake in. And it's just like, what are you supposed to do? He made Atlanta. Like, come on now, you know what I mean? So I think that that's very, very interesting. Let me know what y'all think as far as that. Now, some of the comment sections, especially in regards to on Will Smith's Instagram, but on the Comedy Hype YouTube page, it shows as far as this different way, these different ways that people are thinking about the whole situation. So let's take a look at a couple of these. So on Will Smith's, it's interesting. It's just all like I f with everything he said, heavy. And somebody, I guess there was this notion that Donald Glover was dissing Will Smith. So somebody's just like he's literally giving Will props, y'all, and saying he shouldn't have more Grammys than Will. And it's sad that a white man has the same amount of BET awards as him, seeing that BET is supposed to be for us. If you didn't pick up on that, you're probably in remedial classes. And then JoJo Simmons, because I guess that was some of the things that laugh sounded like very very funny, but don't take it too far. And it's just all like that's what I guess that may be where some of the narrative is coming from, that it was, somehow a diss. Somebody was like he wasn't dissing Will. He was just stating that it makes no sense and he's right. Will had to see where the joke was going first before he let out a real laugh out. Now, that's funny. Someone else brought up a good point, and it was just all like, yo, someone said the laugh at the Sam Smith joke was a I've been saying laugh. So this was it, yeah. It's a comedian, multi-talented in many ways, and I'm pretty sure he was giving Will a compliment. He was giving the man his flowers. Yeah, so that was interesting as far as on Will Smith's, what you would call it, but the real interesting thing was the comedy hype. So let's look at some of these. BT ain't even black owned. It said Black entertainment is more than R&B and hip hop. Lenny Kravitz, Darius Rucker, Jimmy Allen, Ben El Uncle, Jacob Banks, Mickey Guyton, and so many more are being ignored. What the F? BT needs to recognize all Black artists, not just the ones that sag their pants and twerk. BT is not the same. The 90s BT was so much better. It really was. Like, man, I do miss the 90s BT. They say ever since Bob Johnson sold BT to Viacom 20 years ago, that's when the network started going downhill. BT most definitely ignores the ish out of Black rock artists who also have a hard enough time getting recognized by white rock fans and media. Being a Black rock artist is hard. Yeah, so it's very, very interesting. It's this narrative that wants to paint, whether our own doing or media or other different things like that. And I'm glad that he actually said it. A lot of people feel like, oh, Donald Glover needs to have his his black card revoked and all these different things. Like they try to bring up certain things that really don't even make any sense. And it's just one of those things. Like I said, let me know what y'all think in the comments.